You know, I don't remember.
Braking.
Yep.
Cruise mode.
Yep, we do have reverse thrust. Well, hey folks, Fat Guy Flies RC. All right, this is the repair redemption maiden, a remaiden, just a repair redemption flight of the all-new 20cc Hangar 9 Valiant. Now, timer set for 8 minutes, going to be in high rates. We'll talk about all of the repairs and everything that happened, and what I concluded. Actually, Adam from Model Aviator called me at home and after watching my video, and because we've talked before, and he said here's what he believes happened, here's without actually having the model in front of him, and what he's observed in his many years of experience with wooden planes, because I'm very much a novice with the wooden planes. Foam, I can speak with great confidence about foam planes, but balsa is a little bit different of an animal. And I had one viewer that says, have you ever heard of flying to scale? And he was kind of being mocking about it, trolling me, but he's right. I really shouldn't have been pushing this plane. So there is a certain amount of responsibility on my part, a little bit of responsibility on the manufacturing process. But also they understand that if you're flying balsa, you should know a little bit about balsa. This should not be your first balsa plane. But anyways, got everything fixed, got everything repaired. And I left one piece of damage on purpose, but we'll talk about that after the redemption flight. And just so you know, I no longer have, I've made some changes to how the elevator behaves, but we'll...
Motor on and ready to cut you up.
We will talk about that after the flight also. Timer set for 8 minutes, high rates. Running a 5000 Spectrum G2 Smart Pack in there. Okay. Remember, I don't have takeoff flaps. I only have landing flaps and crow. Okay. Taking off into the wind. What little wind we have. Oh, my hatch is up.
AS3X mode.
Oh, no wonder. I was in safe. Having to retrimmer because new control surface. I'll need a little bit of up elevator.
Time remaining 7 minutes.
Yeah, my hatch is up. Let me land it.
Landing flaps.
Oh, he's over there. Got an airplane over there, but he's not coming over here.
Flaps up.
All right, my hatch is up.
Motor is off and safe to approach.
There we go.
Motor on and ready to cut you up. Be careful.
Motor on, ready to cut you up. Turn around here. All right, take off into the wind. My hatch is, look at that, hatch keeps lifting up. That's a brand new hatch. I bought a new hatch also. the magnets aren't wanting to. Well, shoot.
Full landing flaps. Flaps up.
You know, I don't remember.
Braking.
Yep.
Cruise mode.
Yep, we do have reverse thrust. I don't know what I'm going to do about that hatch. I don't have a big enough rubber band with me. The only thing I can think of is there's enough air coming in there and the magnets aren't strong enough to hold it down. We shall see. It's down. All right. Definitely flying differently now. Not necessarily worse, not necessarily better, just flying differently. All right. Try this again. Yeah, that hatch just, there's air being shoved in there. I'll have to put the other hatch back on. Or put some more metal in the magnets or something, because I'm going to end up losing that hatch.
Time remaining 5 minutes.
It's a good flying plane though, that is for certain. I don't think the hatch is going to come off because of the force of the wind on it. Oh, now it's starting to rain.
Full crest. Landing flaps. Flaps up.
Well, let's take it up one more time. Man, I can't get that to stay down. I'm afraid if I take it up and do any aerobatics with it, the hatch is going to come flying off of there. And it's like, I think, $28. Oh, and by the way, you can put a 3-cell plane battery on them lights, not a 2-cell. That's what's in there now. All right, the hatch is down now. Nope, it popped back up.
ESC 21:20. Time remaining 4 minutes. Landing flaps. Flaps up.
Oh, a beautiful flying plane.
Landing flaps.
Oh, it hashes down now. All right, before I show you the rates and everything,
Flaps up.
let me show you what I did. Number one, the repair that needs to be repaired that I'm not going to repair.
Motor is off and safe
All
to
right.
approach.
I'm going to pick the plane up. Gabriel, you'll have to focus in, but there's a spot on underneath the cowl where the fiberglass is broken. See that white spot there? Yeah. I'm not going to fix that. I leave that as a reminder to me that I need to not be hot dogging this plane. You got it? Are you in manual now or autofocus? Okay. All right, sorry. All right, what we did, I have a new prop which did not need to be balanced, which surprising, I figured a second one would be. Did not need to be balanced. I bought a new canopy, which only because in the build process I had scratched it really bad and cracked this first piece here, taking it on and off, but nothing else was wrong with it. But I said, well, while I'm buying parts, so I went ahead and bought a new one, but this one doesn't seem to be fitting that well. Okay, I've got an Admiral 600 milliamp 3S battery in here now to run these lights, because I went to the website, Horizon Hobby website, and looked at these lights as an individual part, and it says they are rated for 3S and they're much brighter now, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay, same battery, 5,000 pushback, a little further back. Oh, and I have to check the battery with telemetry because I don't have that adapter with me. Same receiver. Replaced the metal, the gear, and I replaced the elevator. Okay, the wings, the fuselage, the wheels, all that were fine. So new prop, new canopy, which wasn't necessary. New prop because I broke it. New landing gear because they were bent beyond belief. The hard screw in the front here on this side front actually was yanked out. And it did not strip it out. It just, the screw snapped, and I replaced the screw with a new gear. No problem. The hard point where it connects was not damaged in any way. So the gear's on there nice and straight. New elevator. The elevator was snapped in two places, along with, of course, not being connected. But the main thing that caused the accident is two parts to it. Or three parts actually. Number one, I shouldn't have been pushing the plane that hard. Number two, this metal rod right here, where the elevator servo connects to the metal housing, this rod, because either when this elevator snapped or this snapped, whatever, this metal piece snapped right in the middle. So I've got a heavier gauge rod in there now, hooked, glued into that, or into that assembly there, a heavier gauge. Nothing, the servo was fine, it wasn't stripped in any way. So that's a heavier gauge piece of metal there. That broke, and when that broke, either the elevator caused it to break or that broke and caused the elevator to break. I don't know which happened. However, the theory is, when Adam at Model Aviator called me, I'm going to show you on the elevator, and the truth was the same with this elevator. When you get your elevator, when you go to put this plane together, whether you're getting the bind and fly or the plug and play or the ARF, when you get this elevator in the mail, okay, look, the hinges were nice and strong. He said, well, maybe one of the hinges gave loose. The hinges were nice and strong. I could not pull them out, so there was no need for to apply any more CA. So I wasn't worried about that. However, when you take your elevator and you hold it straight, before you attach it to anything, look at the individual deflection of each one. And I almost guarantee you, one is going to be more than the other. Because yes, this may be laser cut on a computer, however, it's covered and hinged by a human. Okay? So when that happens, sometimes you get a production line and you're doing 80 of these things in a day, you may not be as consistent on the covering on this one or the covering on that one, and a little more glue on this side, a little less glue on that side. So there may be some inconsistency at the factory, but the deflection was a lot more, was almost an inch more or a half an inch more on one than on the other. So What he has suggested doing is make your deflection whatever the least one, whichever has the least amount of deflection, let that be your full deflection. Okay, that way, that one is not, because if you make it max throws, then this one, then the one that has the least amount of deflection is going to be stressed. And that may have been me hot dogging around and really pushing. I didn't think about that. I wouldn't know to think about something like that, okay? And me hot dogging around and everything, that or actually that was the fourth flight, that inconsistency of the covering and everything, and the lack of deflection in one versus the other may have been enough to cause that to break, cause a vibration, because he was watching the thing. He said, I believe your left elevator broke before your right. And he goes, and that was the one I believe had less deflection, and I'm pushing it beyond what its natural tendency would be. If that makes, hopefully it's not as clear as mud. And that vibration may have what caused the snap of the, was maybe have been building through flights, because that was actually the fourth flight. And every time I was pushing it that hard. And that may have caused that metal to snap. And of course, when that happened, you have no elevator control, and then and the only thing, to me, the only thing it saved, if you notice my battery placement, where I've got that battery, a little further back, a little more of an aft CG. Two Brothers was playing with the idea of making that CG, the battery a little further back, more of a neutral to more of an aft CG, which will make the plane not as nose heavy. Well, I believe that not being as nose heavy is what caused the plane to land more level, or plop down more level. Had I had a more heavier nose CG like you'd want with a big plane like this, more of a positive nose, a little favoring nose heavy, and it might have had a more steeper impact into the ground and cause more damage to the fuselage, and more money. But that's where I'm at. She flew successfully. As you can tell, I'm being very, very easy on her. I am not pushing her at all, and I will not push her anymore. I'm going to fly her like I did my original small foam Valiant, and that's okay. It scared me. I ain't gonna lie, for this, it scared me. And you got $850 flying around there, plus a $100 battery and a $100 receiver in there. Yeah, it's easy to get scared. So let's talk about our rates, everything, and the flight. First thing we'll do, we'll look at the battery. Let's look at my monitor, see how much I got left in the battery. I'm not going up again no matter what it says though. And it says I have 60% left, and so that's fine. I'm not going to go up again. I'll fly again in a little bit though. All right, my flying rates I just flew in. I have, when I tell you, it's 100% throws, 30% expo on everything. However, on the elevator, yes, I have it set at 100%, but I have the travel set at 90. Okay, so I have less physical travel, but the rate is still 100%. Okay, and here's what it looks like. 100%, 100%, 100%, 30% expo all the way around. All right, flap systems. I do not have takeoff flaps. I have flaps up, which is nothing. I have landing flaps, which is negative 100% with a 20% down elevator mix. And then crow,
full crow,
which I didn't use, is negative 100% on the flaps, 24% positive on the outside ailerons, and I'm sorry, 24%, I don't know how to read this now. The flaps are negative 100%, the elevators are 24%, and the crow are 95%. So that's how that is. Elevators 24% down, flaps are down negative 100, and the crow are up 95%. So 100%, negative 100 on flaps, 24% on elevator, which is down, and then 95% up on the ailerons.
Landing flap.
All right, but I showed you in the initial maiden. All right, well that's pretty much it. Let's talk about CG now. Still had 3 minutes. Could have flown, but I'm done for now. Prop is off. I do need to put maybe some pieces of metal or something to give more bite for these magnets. So, talk about CG. Yeah, that goes down awfully easy. CG on the plane is, I have it written down, is 85 millimeters back from the leading edge of the plane. And as you can see, that puts her basically perfectly level where I've got that battery now. So I'm more of a level CG, not favoring nose heavy. So, well, there you go. All right, that is the repaired redemption flight of the Valiant 20cc. Keep, when you assemble the plane, I cannot stress enough, look at that elevator. And whatever side has the least amount of deflection, that's the deflection you want to go with, okay? If you don't take anything else away from this video, make sure you heed that. Whatever side of the elevator has the least amount, that's the one you go with. Don't go with the one with the max. You want to go with the least. Or take all the hinges out and rehinge it yourself, which I'm not doing. So thank you so much for flying with me, watching with me. Gabriel, thank you for filming. I am so tongue-tied. God bless y'all. Jesus is Lord. And don't forget, folks, faith, family, and friends, and big old wooden planes that you may have to, you know, you gotta have a little bit of care and a little bit of TLC with them. All right, y'all. Bye-bye.